Okay, now I think I've done all of that correctly. Which should allow us to use this sphere. Okay, as you hold the sphere up this time and examine it, you feel the memories of your first incarnation stirring within you. But it is not an insistent or driving force. It is calm, like the thoughts of a man walking across a great distance to speak to a friend he hasn't seen in ages. As you feel his presence in your mind, you see the sphere in a different light, not as ugly or hideous, but as something precious like a newborn child. The sphere is a repository of your last moments, before you met Ravel on the grey waste and asked the impossible of her. You know why you asked her, and you know that all you need to do is touch the surface of the sphere with both hands and feel regret, and the stone will open itself to you. Clasp the stone and feel regret. The sphere wrinkles in your hands, the skin of the sphere peeling away into tears and turning into a rain of bronze that encircles you. Each droplet, each fragment that enters you, you feel a new memory stirring, a lost love, a forgotten pain, an ache of loss, and with it comes the great pressure of regret. Regret of careless actions, the regret of suffering, regret of war, regret of death, and you feel your mind begin buckling from the pressure. So much all at once, so much damage done to others, so much so an entire fortress may be built from such pain. Try to focus, keep your center. And suddenly, through the torrent of regrets, you feel the first incarnation again. His hand, invisible and weightless, is upon your shoulder, steadying you. He doesn't speak, but with his touch, you suddenly remember your name. And it is such a simple thing, not at all what you thought it might be, and you feel yourself suddenly comforted. In knowing your name, your true name, you know that you have gained back perhaps the most important part of yourself. In knowing your name, you know yourself, and you know now there is very little you cannot do. The first incarnation's hand is gone from your shoulder, and he is watching you with a slight smile. That was my name all along? But if I was... The first incarnation holds his finger to his lips, silencing you. He nods at the symbol on your arm, as if indicating you should make use of it. Examine your arm. The symbol of torment, seems brittle somehow, as if it is only barely holding itself to your skin. Unconsciously, you reach out and you peel it from your arm. It gives way with a slight resistance, like pulling off a scab. As you hold the symbol, you know you can harness its power. It no longer rules you. I no longer wear the symbol. Does that mean... As you get halfway through your question, you realize there is a heavy silence within your mind. You can no longer feel the presence of the first incarnation within you. Take the symbol of torment.
I feel stronger.
Does that mean the first incarnation is, what is it? Like, not happy again? There's a word that I'm trying to think of. Redeemed. I mean, at this point, what does it really matter? I say that with all the love in the world. Oh wait, character points. Whoa! Do I need 20 or plus 25? Hold on. Okay, I'm just going to throw it all in wisdom. Wow, there's like 3 new paths that have opened up for me. Just between my first attempt at trying to finish this game and going back and just doing a few of these things that I missed. Right. I think 24 should be fine, but I might change my eye out, just so I've got all of my wisdom. Yeah, let's just go with the normal one. So this eye is actually fantastic, because it gives me all of these things, but it's -1 wisdom. You may harness its power to bring retribution against your enemies. Merely holding it and invoking its power will summon all the pain. Oh, wow. Is it the same with this one too? It has a strange weight about it and it feels heavier than it should. Good old regret.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna need to take a break for a hot second. Okay, so, I guess I should just explain. So when I first confronted the big bad boss at the end, my only option was to fight him, and I think I've already said it wasn't necessarily the most difficult battle. I did end up letting the nameless one die purely because I was just tired, and figured I would just pick it up today. In picking up this thing, it will give me the ability, if I want to fight him, I can resurrect my entire party or those who are left. So that's an option. Now that I know my name, I can also use that. And now that my wisdom is above 24, I can also talk to him, sweet talk my way, or not even sweet talk, philosophize with him. So I've just had a whole world of options open up before me, which is kind of sweet. Before you is the ghostly form of Dianara. Her spectral gown seems stirred by some ethereal breeze. Her eyes rest on yours, and you feel a strange, disjointed sensation, as if you were looking at several pairs of eyes at once. Dianara? My love, at last I have found you. I searched for you after you were divided by the crystal. This fortress spans hundreds of miles, and I feared you were lost to me. Her ghostly eyes take your measure, searching your bodies for new wounds. Are you well? I think so. The crystal divided me, but I am one again. Now I am trapped here, however. I suspect trapping you here was the crystal's true purpose, but it poses no barrier for one such as I. She closes her eyes. Much do my eyes see, and the halls of the fortress are well known to me. If you are trapped here, my love, I shall see to it that you are set free. Where is it you wish to go? I wish to speak to you for a moment and tell you how you died and why. What are you speaking of? When I brought you to this fortress, it was my intention that you should die here. I needed someone to remain behind so that they would serve as a link to this place. I knew because you loved me so much that your love would stave off death and allow you to become a spirit, and that is why you suffer now. Dianara's face is a mask as you speak the words. I am sorry, Dianara. Do you love me? If you say yes, my love, then nothing that has happened matters. Though I did not know you at first, I have come to love you. Your suffering has become mine, and I have found that I will do what I can to help you. Then I will aid you, my love. Tell me how I can help you, and I shall do it. I am trapped here. Can you help me escape? If you are trapped here, my love, then I shall see you are set free. Where is it you wish to go? Either one or two, it'll take you to the same spot. I wish to go where my mortality is and recover it. As you wish, my love. She stretches out her hand. Touch my hand and the walls of this fortress shall be walls no more.
I forgive what you have done. I shall wait for you in death's halls, my love.
All right, let's get this over with, I say, with all the love in the world.
Done.
Do appreciate this game. It's actually been such an adventure, and I'm really glad to have given it a whirl. It's actually been pretty neat. I also love that all this time we just kept the cheese.
So you have come. Then you shall die again.
I am actually a bit devo. I won't be able to show you the fight because the spell effects were actually kind of amazing. Like the high level spell effects, they were like a whole cutscene unto themselves. It was a bit confusing at first, but then it sort of all made sense.
So you have come. You are unwelcome here, Broken One.
What have you done with my friends?
Are they dead? Yes. Unlike you, they have but one life. And they wasted it for your sake.
They died for you as they always have. Such is the way of all mortal things. It is the fate of all that follow you, Broken One. You have forgotten much. Why did you do it? They tried to harm me. Here, of all places, I defended myself. In so doing, mortality claimed them. Their deaths were by their own hand. I gave them the opportunity to depart this place, but they seemed determined to help you despite the cost to themselves. So you killed them. The tiefling girl was especially fierce in your defense. Her feelings for you burned brighter than Elysium's fires. And the Tenari, she was quite strong. Her tolerance for pain would have shamed the Betezu themselves. I took no pleasure in their deaths. Then why did you do it? It was not my will. It was not I that brought them here. All of them had a choice, and they chose to die for you. It has always been the way of all that follow you, for they are tormented souls seeking a release, but they know not why. You have forgotten this, and you shall again. I know you for what you are. You are my mortality. Your armor, it is the twisted like tree branches. Such things speak of Ravel's magics. Yes, I am that which was split from you by the hag's power. I am that which walks with all life. My voice is a death rattle, a last breath in the throat, the whisper of a dying man. I have been freed from the prison of your flesh. Freed from me? The moment I was split from your cancerous shell, I knew life, I knew freedom. I shall not surrender it to you. We were not meant to be separated, and the planes have suffered because of our separation. You know nothing of meaning and separation. Before your memory dies again, know that we were never meant to be as one. This shall be the last time you and I speak, Broken One. Then there is something I would know, Spirit. I have traveled far, and there are many questions you can answer. I will indulge you this one last time, then this fortress shall be silent again. Then these are my questions. Ask your questions, but know you shall never remember the answers. Then this is my final question. What can change the nature of a man? The question is meaningless. Nonetheless, before there is an ending between us, I will hear your answer. Then this is my answer, and you are the proof. Nothing can change the nature of a man. If there is anything I have learned in my travels across the plains, it is that many things may change the nature of a man. Whether regret or love or revenge or fear, whatever you believe can change the nature of a man, can. Then you learned a false lesson, Broken One. Have I? I've seen belief move cities, make men stave off death, and turn an evil hag's heart half-circle. This entire fortress has been constructed from belief. Belief damned a woman whose heart clung to the hope that another loved her when he did not. Once it made a man seek immortality and achieve it, and it has made a posturing spirit think it is something more than a part of me. Your defiance will hurt you more than any wound in this place. Belief cannot change the nature of a man. I think it can. I think belief could even unmake me if I believe it enough. You do not possess the force of will for such a thing. So you admit it's possible. Do not try my patience, Broken One. Focus your will inwards, center yourself. You are a fool to think you can achieve such a thing. You can barely keep your own tattered mind intact. There is nowhere left for you to fall, Broken One. Keep focusing. Stop. You know not what you do. I know what I do. You have tormented me enough, and now it ends. If you do this thing, we shall be undone. There is no one fate here. You destroy us both. As I see it, I have two choices. Either I kill us both, or I let you kill me again and again, losing what few pieces of my mind I have left. I think I'd prefer we both die, unless you have a third solution. There is no other resolution to this matter. I think there is. We can become one again, as we were meant. You know not what you do. If we are reunited, then it shall be an ending. There shall be no future for us. We shall go on to further torments. It is better that happen than the multiverse continue to suffer because of us. If we become one, we shall suffer. There is too much of the nature of the first one in us for us to be saved. We shall be damned. You know not what you do. No, I know very well what I do, and I think this is the only answer. Prepare yourself. Know that I have always hated you, Broken One. When we are one, I will continue to hate you. When your shell dies at last, know that I shall take pleasure in your death. I can live with that, and so can the planes. Know that my hatred for you will unmake the planes. Prepare yourself, we shall be as one again until your last moments of life. Before we do, what of my friends? Is it possible to save them? I am mortality itself. The nature of life and death is something I know well. When we are one, my knowing shall be yours. Very well, I am ready to become mortal again. As you reach out your power, Mort suddenly floats into the air. Hold up, Chief. You don't need to resurrect me. I was, just kinda lying here, you know, listening to you two. You were feigning death? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm already dead, and, Chief, what happened to your voice? I am something else now. Time runs short, and soon time and fate will catch up with me. I will return you to Sigil, Mort, if you wish. What, return me? What about you? Come on, Chief. I may be a coward, but there's no way I'm leaving you in this place. Many are the crimes that were committed when my mortality and I were split. These crimes carry a price. You may not go where I will soon be. Well, I could go with you, Chief, if you wanted me to. I mean, we've been through... Not this time. Perhaps one day you and I will meet again on another plane, but not now.
Not to get all misty-eyed, but it's been a pleasure, Chief.
Farewell, Mort. You reach out with your power. There is a rush of air and Anna stirs. She raises her head slowly, then shakes it, confused. Anna, are you all right? Anna's eyes widen as she hears your voice. What happened to you? Your voice, it like echoes, it is. I've changed. I am something else now, and I cannot remain here much longer. I will return you to Sigil if you wish it. What? Anna opens her mouth, then pauses. Where are you going? Many are the crimes that were committed when my mortality and I were split. These crimes carry a price. There is a place reserved for one such as I on the lower planes. It is punishment of a sort. But I don't want you to go. I will not forget how much you were willing to sacrifice for me, Anna. Anna nods. She looks like she's about to say something else, but then falls silent. But the unspoken thought remains in her mind, lingering. I do not need your words to know your heart, Anna. Farewell. As your power touches him, Dakon takes a staggered breath, then looks up weakly. It looks like he's barely clinging to life. Awakened Dakon of Shrakut Law, last wielder of the Karak blade. As he hears your words, Dakon slowly nods. Your voice, you have at last come to know yourself. Yes, it was a difficult thing, and it cost many lifetimes. Many suffered so that I might know myself again. The knowing of oneself is a difficult path. In knowing it, I know where I shall soon be bound. Time and fate come here even as we speak, and I will not be here much longer. I will return you to Sigil, Dakon, if you wish. Dakon falls silent for a moment. When he speaks again, his voice is sharp, as if severing a link. Know that once I owed you a debt. Know that you have saved my life, and know that I followed you to settle that debt.
I have paid for your life with mine. The debt is settled.
Very well, Dakon. Our two deaths were as one. You will leave this place with your freedom. As your power touches Fall from Grace, she rises dizzily to her feet. Even disoriented, she somehow manages to maintain her composure. Fall from Grace. Fall from Grace looks up and she holds your eyes for a moment. Then she smiles, but it is a slight smile that carries more sadness than anything else. Your voice, so you have found yourself at last. Yes, the price was high, the cost was many lifetimes, mine and others. The price of such a thing is seldom measured in copper. Fall from Grace studies your features. Are you still... I am still the one you know, but my perspective has changed. I have not forgotten you, if that is your fear. Fall from Grace smiles again, the same sad smile as before. No, that was not my fear. I cannot remain here for much longer. My punishment calls, and fate and time shall soon be here. I will return you to Sigil if you wish. That is not my wish. Fall from Grace reaches forward, and her hand lightly touches your arm. There is a slight tingling sensation, barely felt, then she takes it away. I will find you again, no matter where in the lower planes you will be, just as you shall be able to find me. It may be a long time. Where I am bound, time is not measured in years, and the crimes I have committed are stronger than any cage. No cage shall separate us, and no plane shall divide us. Fall from Grace's face becomes like stone. Keep thinking of me, and we shall meet again. I shall not forget all you sacrificed for me. She shakes her head. Just do not forget me. Time lays waste to all things, but I shall fight it as long as I can.
Time is not your enemy. Forever is.
Perhaps so. Farewell, Grace. Apparently that was also the best ending too. I'm curious, I'm going to read up on what happens if you approach it in any other way. So this was a very different game, and I had no idea what to expect going into it. Obviously I had played Baldur's Gate 1, 2, Throne of Baal, Icewind Dale, Neverwinter Nights, but I was not prepared for how different this game was, and there is so much that I learnt right at the very end here, which would have been so helpful to have known going into the game. Just how different things were, I guess, and the way, that your stats played into things is very different to the previous games. But with that said, I actually really enjoyed this game, and I will add it to my list of games to play every other year or so. I loved that it was more of a story-based kind of game, and it wasn't like this huge, your characters are out to save the world or stop some, crazy bad guy or whatever the previous stories have been. This was purely trying to figure out who you were and understand what's going on, and it's definitely a game that seems to, if you ask all the questions, and if you do a lot of the side quests, the payoff is definitely there. And not knowing that, I obviously just played this game like I normally would play a game, and just tried to keep with the main story, and that was to my detriment, as it turns out, but that's okay. You live and you learn. I'm just trying to think what I was saying and where I was going. Yeah, so I guess my normal way of playing through these games is just purely sticking with the plot, and that's partly because it creates a smoother playthrough, I feel like. But then that's also just my nature, is I like to stick with the main plot and maybe do the occasional side quest here and there, but I'm not like, I have to do every single side quest and talk to every single person. That kind of just irritates me, but it seems like this is a game where if you do that, there is a payoff for it. So it's a very different game, I think, to all of the other previous Forgotten Realms games that I have played. And there are certain things about it that I actually really appreciated. I mean, it's the first game where, excluding Neverwinter Nights, so looking at Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale, it's the first game where I was really able to get into the combat, and obviously combat is not my strength in any game, and I freely acknowledge that. But, I was able to develop a bit of a strategy as far as how to deal with enemies and jank, and it was a bit tedious, but it got the job done. I'm sure if my character was a fighter, I could have just been a bit more gung-ho and run in there and, had at everything. But that wasn't the case. So that was kind of neat. I really appreciate being able to embrace the combat and taking my time to try and figure things out. It definitely made like the boss battles, I was so much more invested in those because I really had to pay attention to what was going on, and like potion supplies, all that jazz. And then like after each combat, I was pretty miserable as far as my characters were concerned. And it was sort of like I had to limp my way out of a couple of areas. And even that was kind of an experience in and of itself. I love the story. Very different again to the previous games, but I really appreciate that change. The thing that I loved the most though was that your stats actually influenced conversation options, and also the way that you chose to speak to people in dialogue influenced your your alignment. And I kind of think that was a really neat approach to it, rather than just choosing your alignment and then picking dialogue options to go with that. It was kind of like, you play how you want to play, and that will affect, you know, certain elements of the game. I think that was a really cool approach to that. And then also having sort of options if you were more charismatic or more intelligent or more, even if you had a lot of strength, I'm sure there would have been options there. If I had have known that going into it, like I said, I probably would have focused more on maxing out certain stats, but I didn't know that. So lesson learnt there, I guess. But I think that's really all I have to say as far as this game is concerned. I'm sure I'll walk away and think of a million things that either stood out to me or were a bit annoying, but right here, right now, I will just end this by saying I've enjoyed the game. I really, really enjoyed the game. Like I don't think I have the words to express how much I enjoyed playing this game. I am grateful though that I only discovered it now. I think if I had played this in my youth, I probably wouldn't have appreciated it so much because there is an awful lot of dialogue and it is a very story-driven game, and I just don't think I would have appreciated that. And also the lack of, voiceovers, having to like read everything, I think that would have annoyed me way back when, but now I kind of appreciate it a lot more, and just the story that you can weave just through the written word. So I would recommend, if you like playing these kinds of games, I would absolutely recommend checking it out. But I will say thank you to everyone who has watched this series. I really appreciate it, for the comments, just everything else in between. I really, really appreciated the support. I loved, there was one particular commenter who has been along this entire ride and sort of comments on every video with either helpful tips or kind of making fun of me for my silly choices, which, is fair play. I have no issues there. But I really have enjoyed that interaction. So I just want to say thank you. And I appreciate all of the support and everything else in between. As far as future games are concerned, probably by the time this gets published, hopefully I will have been through the worst of the beer bug. But I can't really say right here, right now. It's sort of only just starting to hit. So I'll do what I can to edit, to upload. If there is a day or two of no content, just know that it's because I've had to take time off to recover. But yeah, on that note, I'll see you in the next game, whatever that may be. Bye!